future. Fans, we now ask if you are able, please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. From number 4 at 5'4", number 2, GBC, Loyalist. From Starboard at 5'7", number 3, Loyalist. From Toronto at 5'9", number 10, Jamie Foreman. From Eagles at 5'8", number 15, Jordan Dawkins. From Finland at 6', number 33, Colin Parker. And now, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the starting lineup of the Loyalist results. I hail you from Hamilton at 5'6", number 6, Sophie Gray. From Innisfil at 5'8", number 8, Brooklyn White. From Scarborough at 5'6", number 10, Webb Morrison. From Sudbury at 5'11", number 14, Haley Lemaire. And from Morganville at 5'7", number 22, Bryce Callahan.
History, one pass of water. Bag, I'll grab the water from it. Thank you, no problem. Where did you guys go? You said no?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lancer Dome. We got George Brown, we got Loyalist women's basketball action. Your undefeated Loyalist Lancers. We're starting quick here, so no time for an intro. George Brown has the ball. Shot by number 3. That's going to hit the outside of the rim now. Here come the starting guard, Sophie Vanny, looking for a pass. Oh, beautiful ball movement. Wow, they're starting out with a beautiful basket. Vanny to Lemaire, to Callahan for Stephen Schill. My name is John Strosky. Thank you, oh my goodness, for spending part of your afternoon with us here on the OCAA broadcast. And with the ball now, the blue jerseys, George Brown Huskies. They're moving around, give it to the post player, Parker. Parker passes to her wing, and another miss. 0 for 2 now for the George Brown Huskies. 2 threes and 2 misses. And a third three. This one will also not go in. That was attempted by Michaela Hawkins. And now in transition, Callahan stepping out. And short-armed it a little bit, but rebound Fanny, and she's not going to be able to bring it in.
Yeah, Grace Callahan already showing early on a little bit of frustration with herself trying to hit that basket, and actually caught up with Callahan a little bit after the volleyball game the other day, and she took a knock in one of the previous games and actually was out for just a little bit, so I didn't know if she was going to play coming in this one. Same with Gwen Forrester actually in the last matchup. Gwen Forrester had to get help off the court here in the starting lineup though, as Lawrence is here with a turnover down center court, but again, looking for Loyalists to keep this undefeated streak going as we see George Brown at 2-3 in the standings.
Yeah, George Brown 2-3 33 sitting firmly at 6th in the East. No home court advantage for them if the season ended today. But Loyalist, one of 2 undefeated teams. The other is an 8-0 Mohawk team. And right now that's looking like it might be a finals matchup, but way too early to tell still. As Vanny drives, finds the post player Lemaire, and she gets hit by number 2, Jacelyn Valencia.
Yeah, Kaylee Lemaire going to the line here, but Kaylee actually in the top 5 in OCAA rebounds per game, averaging 11.2. So really awesome to see just the strength of this Loyal squad in the undefeated department, as well as some just absolute rockage in the individual performance. And Lemaire hits the first free throw.
Yeah, she's going to make her first free throw, and the players run to the key. And someone you're going to want to watch off the bench is the sharpshooting Angel Alance. She started the year of 6 games in a row. She made a 3, and I don't think she missed one until like 2 weeks ago. So she's definitely a spark plug, first-year player, probably in that 6-man role, or 6-woman role, should I say, today for the Loyalist Lancers now. Passing the ball around, post player Parker has it, gives it to 15, Dawkins. Dawkins drives, she's driving on Forrester. And Forrester causes a miss. She's going in transition, running fast, finds Callahan. Callahan gonna put, oh, she didn't pump the brake, she's still going. I thought she might want to pop there. And now here's Vanny. Finds Callahan. Oh, she thought about it. She wants a 3 badly in the worst way. And now Forrester passes around to Vanny. And Lemaire has it. You got 7 seconds on the shot clock. Gotta make something happen. She got hit on the hand, Lemaire, but it won't matter. No call there as number 33, Parker, with her first steal of the day.
Yeah, number 33 again, Parker for the George Brown Huskies, averaging 16.6 games, points per game, excuse me. And, I mean, that's just something to watch here again. Lemaire's having a crazy season in the rebounds department. Parker having one on the offensive side of things. It's going to be an absolute firecracker of a match. And
it's a bit of a, you know, a bit more effort, should I say, from George Brown as opposed to Loyalist. So George Brown's looking to shock the world and upset an undefeated team. And you know, I know it's very early, but it's just you can see George Brown. Everyone's standing up, everyone's cheering on the bench, and you know they came to win here today for sure. And there's another turnover caused by Parker. And now in transition, the George Brown Huskies, number 10 Foreman. Parker down low. She might be a big-time player today. Oh, she is wide open, number 10. And Loyalist got away with one there. You cannot leave a perimeter player open like that.
Yeah, Foreman's another player to watch. Actually kind of crazy that George Brown has a record they did because both Foreman and Parker, as a shot is good from Brooklyn White. Oh, my goodness. But Foreman and Parker, again, both of them are in the top 5 right now in points per game in women's OCAA basketball action. So this George Brown Husky team, Loyalist has to keep what they did against St. Lawrence and have the defensive pressure to win this one out, and they're looking good early.
Oh, and a 3, going to try and take it right back, but they're 0 for 4 already. You're going to start to ask some questions there. Now Callahan going for a run, not stopping with a head full of steam. Oh my goodness, coast to coast, little Rajon Rondo there. And George Brown needs a timeout.
Damn, that was intense. They did good. She kept her stride. Yeah. That was beautiful. Oh. We used to have them on all line.
You know, coming off this timeout, George Brown really struggling from the field, shooting 1 of 7 this far, while the Lancers are shooting 75%. So a little bit of early woes from this Husky squad that we anticipated a huge offensive game from.
Yeah, well, you can see the effort there. It's just I think they're taking too many threes, honestly. Just take a couple steps in and make the shots you want to make. You don't want to go down 9-2 this early. And nice bit of ball movement. There's another 3. This one will drop, so I am wrong. There you go.
They're now 1 of 6 from 3, so you were technically correct. They're 0-5.
Oh, beautiful! Dropping dimes. Vanny saw Lemaire. Nobody else did. Wow. Now Parker brings the ball up the floor, 11-5. See, that's the issue, though, is they're still right there. It's only a 6-point game so far, and a nice cut from number 10 there. That was Foreman, and not the best pass.
Yeah, Foreman only one on the board right now for the Huskies as we see the drive come through. White's almost poking it away.
Sends it back. Brooklyn White. Now she's in transition, getting picked up at half. Still getting picked up. Finally finds a screen. She did not want to pass the ball there. She's definitely looking for a pick. And now Callahan takes it, hand in the face. Oh, she felt that one. That one looked like it was going in too.
Yeah, I was surprised to see the defensive effort there. We can kind of see from Foreman trying to hook that away as the shot misses from Vanny. A little bit of a scramble. Gwen Forster comes back up with it back to Vanny.
And now Vanny has the ball at the 3, and there's Lemaire. You got 8 seconds on the shot. Got to make something happen. Oh my goodness. Oh, and you get the rebound, so it won't even matter. You might be able to get 2, and Callahan drops it in.
Yeah, Loyal struggling a little bit on that 3-point attempt. We'll see if that's just kind of a shake-and-bake situation where you just need a little bit more time to get the rhythm of the game and let it cook.
And number 15, Dawkins, sends it around. Now here's Hawkins. Hawkins and Dawkins on the same court, and Valencia with the ball now. She's 7 seconds, has to make something happen, and gets stripped easily. And now running the transitions, Lemaire. Oh, she gets stripped as well, but this one will be called a foul.
Lancer's defense is just absolutely unbelievable here early on. Again, only causing a number of turnovers, but Lancers in the rebound department getting 9 to George Brown's just 1. So again, huge difference kind of across the entire board. Missing shots, everything. I'm just not sure what's going on with the Huskies early. Or maybe Loyalist is just that strong, because again, we saw an absolute dismantling of the St. Lawrence Surge in the previous home match.
Number 4, Zane Michael in for number 15, Jordan Dawkins. And the the foul was not on the shot, so it was considered a reach-in foul or a push, something like that, just a non-shooting foul. So that will be the second team foul there for the George Brown Huskies. Now Callahan, she gets the ball stolen rather, and now Hawkins running and not able to plop it in there, and it'll be going the other way now. Here is number 8, White with the ball. Sorry, 6, Vanny. That 8 sure does look like a 6 when it's folded up like that. And now here's 8, Brooklyn White fakes her out. All the way from Oakville, Brooklyn. White with the tray.
And again, White getting national recognition in the first week of the season with an absolute unbelievable performance. Hasn't gotten the same number of points per game yet, but this one looking good early.
16-5 now. Lancers already pulling away a bit, and they get the turnover. There's Brooklyn White defense and offense. And another substitution now for the George Brown Huskies. Number 8 coming in, that is Nicole Taylor, and coming out is Hawkins.
Yeah, Taylor actually was on the Loyalist Lancers a few years back, so always interesting to see different players in a different uniform come back to this gym. So excited to see Taylor play here today.
In a more local school, she is from Mississauga. Every single player on that team, as you can guess, is from the GTA, except for Jamila Christian, who is from Windsor, which is still not the furthest away, but Vanny with the tray, and it'll hit the outside of the rim. And she gets brought to the ground, and oh, she got a foul, Vanny. I didn't really think she touched her there, but that will be the call regardless.
Yeah, Loyal's currently shooting 2 of 6 from the 3, so not awful, but definitely could be better.
And Vanny with the ball now. It looks like Gwen Force is now in the game too. Sorry, not Gwen Force. Nina Anderson. There's a tray! Callahan all the way from Sudbury.
Lynch is now at 3 of 8 shooting the 3. Excuse me, the stats didn't update a second ago, and then it did on top of that 3. Let's really catching fire here at 19-5, and also not committing any fouls in the process.
They clean basketball, playing well. There's a strip there. That's the right call. That's a turnover. It will be Lancer's ball. Oh, that's a push against 22 Callahan. Or no, it's a push against, I'm not sure, 33 Parker?
Yeah, it does look like it's going to end up being Parker.
Do apologize for that. Thank you, Schiller, for confirming that. I would have assumed it wasn't the foul, but that is not my call. As Vanny running the point today. She has the ball, drives in, little floater. Nope, not going to go, but Nina's right there. And first second-year player from New Lister will get her first bucket of the afternoon.
Yeah, and Anderson's really improved this year and having to come in a couple times when Lemaire's been in foul trouble to have that front-facing aspect of this Lancer team. And again, just sitting here almost speechless watching this game right now, because again, looks like Loyalist is just going to run away with this.
You can never, ever Unless it's an absolute full court press, and even then, that's an inexcusable turnover, a 8-second violation. That just can't happen at this level. But that's also a very big compliment as Tomlinson now comes in, who we call a defensive specialist for this Loyalist team, so they're actually getting objectively a bit tougher to score on with Tomlinson in the game. And now Anderson with the ball. And Nina Anderson running the point. Anderson tries to drive in, can't find anything, just going to go up with it. Great defense by number 8, Talo. And going in transition now is Valencia. She's running the point, looking for a pass here. Good ball or good off-ball movement by the George Brown Huskies here now with the ball's number 10, Foreman. Foreman waits. She has Callahan on her. Not an easy matchup at all. But Foreman goes around it, uses a screen, and takes the contact. But that was all clean by number 14, Lemaire.
Yeah, again, Huskies now at 2 of 11 shooting and just not finding any sort of rhythm here earlier. But Loyalist really does kind of just choke you out on the defensive side of the ball. And it's something that I feel like I didn't even really notice in the first couple of games in the season. But just Caleb He has gotten these ladies down to a spot where it is hard to break the wall.
Yeah, they're thinking about a provincial championship this year. We'd love to put a new banner in the new Lancer Dome when it opens, wouldn't we? And turnover, there's Anderson. Collecting the scraps, and Brooklyn White, she's faster than everybody on the floor. Oh, can't make the layup. She's going to want that one back, but 19-point game won't hurt you so much.
Yeah, it just looks like she bobbled it just a slight bit before putting that shot up, which didn't give it the full arc she wanted to, and Callahan almost got it poked away, but we're going to have an out-of-bounds call, I believe.
And it's most definitely a 16-point game, not a 19-point game, so yeah, that's take an L on that one, but regardless, here is Vanny coming back into the game. Looked like Callahan sat down. For Vanny, rather. And it's going around. With the ball now, Foreman. Foreman drives. Tries to find something. And nice little layup. Will get their 6th and 7th points of the afternoon. The George Brown Huskies, and it's going the other way. Oh, beautiful. Nobody is back there. Nina Anderson, quick defensive breakdown for the Huskies. And they will capitalize, the Loyalist Lancers.
So we are starting a little bit later today, and I happened to show up to the gym 2 hours before, not realizing the time change. But apparently it was requested by George Brown, so there's your little bit of insight of the day as Lemaire's on a breakaway.
Lemaire has one player to beat. Yeah, easy 2 points. Puts it in the basket, no problem. Kaylee Lemaire, one of the 2 Sudbury-based players. And now number 10, Foreman. Foreman rushing around, gets to the top of the key. Oh, Tomlinson's there. Didn't even, definitely clean there, but not able to get the ball. And with the shot, Foreman, oh my goodness, she took it and she made it. Wow. Nice little 3 in the face of the defender there.
Yeah, again, Foreman and the Huskies really going to rely on just kind of those 2 scorers right here, but again, just can't stop complimenting the Loyalist defenses. White goes for a 3.
That will hit the inside of the rim, and Nina Anderson on the glass, and Lemaire. Oh my goodness. That is what great basketball teams do. They're able to just hound teams who do not have, George Brown's done some pretty good things, but they definitely don't have the level of skill that Loyalist does, at least right now. So Loyalist is really able to capitalize on that.
Well, and Lemaire just walking through, getting that extra effort, and through Coach Ian Morse of the Huskies, bringing in Oman Okoji, who stands at 6'2", trying to just stop Kaylee Lemaire. Because again, Loyalist has so many different options on that offensive side of things, and if you can stop Lemaire, then you got your goal, one of the golden tickets. But Lemaire will be quite dominant here early.
Yeah, Lemaire, her past 2 or 3 games, she's definitely had a big impact on this side as she gets another defensive rebound. As Brooklyn White runs up the court with the ball, gives it to Vanny, who pulls up, and we're not sure what that call is. It's a travel against Brooklyn White.
Yeah, it is 16.2 seconds left to go, so George Brown will just look for a final shot to close out the first quarter.
Taylor with the ball. She's picked up by Anderson.
And notice Hawkins in the corner, number 3, looking potentially to find her.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for there. But I don't think Brooklyn White's going to give that up that easily as the defense has collapsed. But there is an open 3. She doesn't take it. Nice little floater. Ooh, that was not where she wanted to go. We'll take a 2-minute break, and we'll be right back. All right, folks, we are back. Loyalist 27, George Brown 10. Not the start that the Huskies were looking for, but as Tomlinson will get set to throw the ball in, start the second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when we're looking at the Huskies right now, as we talked about, just kind of having two offensive weapons, Jamie Foreman having 10 points for them, and that is the only player on the Huskies team with any points.
Wow. Callahan waiting 13 seconds on the shot clock, finds Brooklyn White away in the corner. Brooklyn White pops. That one's all the way from Scarborough. Brooklyn White.
9 points on the afternoon for White. Next closest is Callahan with 9 as well, as Callahan picks up with this.
Oh, Anaya took a hit there, and she'll go for 2. Tomlinson drawing the foul.
Yeah, Zane Michael looks like she just went up, or Zane Michael, excuse me, went up and is caught the side of Tomlinson's head there. It was a pretty good knock, too.
Yeah.
But good to see Tomlinson seems fine.
Yeah, part of the game. Especially when you're driving the rim, that's bound to happen as Tomlinson takes her first shot from the charity stripe this afternoon. It will roll in and out. Unlucky. 20-point cushion for your Loyalist Lady Lancer basketball team as Tomlinson gets set for her second foul shot. And can't get the shooter's roll. 0 for 2 from the line from 15 Tomlinson. She'll be looking to get that back if she takes another knock. Ball gets slapped out of the hands of the George Brown player by Callahan. She's running, takes the hit, and 2. Tough finish for Callahan using the contact to her advantage.
Yeah, Callahan, once she gets going, just absolutely no stopping her on that front. And again, for the Huskies here, it feels like when they're passing her, just figuring out the ball handling here, they're just getting uncomfortable way too quickly. And this is something we talked about with St. Lawrence, too, of having more players available for the ball handler, trying to create those open pass lanes because, again, the turnovers weren't too awful early on, but it still feels like it's starting to pick up just a little bit.
Ball inbounded. Here's number 10, Foreman, back on the court with the ball. She is from Toronto, St. Mary's Catholic graduate, and driving in is number 33. That was Parker. She got hit and fouled by Callahan.
Back to the turnover conversation. Loyalist has committed 4 to George Brown. George Brown's 8.
And something I think was said there because the Loyalist players are talking.
First free throws missed. Still looking for another point besides Foreman on the Husky side.
And Parker with the shot. She can make the second one. 32-11. Callahan has the ball, taking up the floor. Your Loyalist Lancers is still undefeated. We are very excited for the playoffs now. For 3, number 11, Violet Stark, all the way from Innisfil. That was a point-blank three-point shot. Violet Stark with her first 3 points of the afternoon. And they're going to try to get it right back. George Brown, a little bit crazy passes there. And Callahan, perfect defense. That was perfect. Picture-perfect defense by Grace Callahan there. Keeping her hands up, affecting the shot, and took a hit from Parker. Yeah, those two are definitely going to be going at it, I think.
Well, I think both of them are super talented players in their own right, so it's always a fun matchup on that front. As Parker makes her way to the bench, we'll see if she's coming out as a substitution.
No, I think that's a guard coming in. I think she's just talking to her coach. Yeah, that's the...
Definitely unhappy with the call. Again, if you're just joining us here in the second, Loyalist won the first 27-10. Loyalist looking to have another sizable lead here early on the second.
Yep, I mean, Coach Morse not happy with that call. Personally, I think the calls have been even so far. They've been pretty fair. These 3 officials doing a good job. Of course, you're never going to be perfect. I've been a basketball official up in the Sault Ste. Marie, and it's not a fun job whatsoever. So they're doing the best we can, and we definitely appreciate all of our officials as number 25 comes in the game.
Yeah, so kind of a weird situation there where Parker, she's got 3 fouls. So that, excuse me, I thought there was some kind of thing of her just wanting out after the play. But no, looking over on the board, Coach Ian Morris and Parker realizing that they don't want to have Parker foul out again, being one of those top 5 scorers within the OCAA. Again, looking a little bleak here, but maybe there's a comeback in that second half if George Brown can come up with any sort of defensive effort.
Yeah, I never want to put your best players in a position to foul out. I think that's the best call. Maybe not match her up with Callahan's also a good call as Grace has the ball now. She's looking for Stark. Oh, beautiful passing, but that one gets tipped out by Foreman. That was a nice steal there for the George Brown player. And now with the ball, Valencia. She gives it to Kapanga. Kapanga looking for something. She finds number 10, Hawkins. Number 3, Hawkins. That'll drop into the basket for a 2. A long 2. And now Brooklyn White with the ball. She finds Anaya in the corner, who finds Stark. Beautiful bit of passing. This team's definitely looking for a long-range shot. And there's, she didn't take it. There's Callahan. There's the long-range shot. And will be in and out. And Hawkins, she passes it to Valencia. Valencia bringing the ball up the floor. Running hard with the 3 long-range shot for the George Brown player. It'll hit the inside of the rim and will go out. And now with the ball is the George Brown player number 3 once again. Sorry, that's Hawkins. And that will hit the inside of the rim and bounce out of play. In the game now is number 15, Jordan Dawkins. Out of the game is Valencia.
Yeah, Huskies again just struggling shooting in general. 5 of 19 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3. And then we're going down to points in the paint. Loyalist has 16 to George Brown's 2. So again, in the paint, Loyalist is absolutely dominating. Well, I think George Brown actually has some of the bigger players.
Number 10, Forrester. Number 6, Vanny. Number 14, Lemaire, all in the game for the Loyalist side. And we'll see what they can do with this lineup. I don't think we've we've seen this lineup. Maybe not Tomlinson with this particular lineup, but as Vanny makes it in, we have seen iterations that are quite similar to this one. Of course, Loyalist with a 10-woman bench. We definitely want Dana Ventimiglia. You've been talking about her all year. She hasn't played a minute yet. She's dealing with a back injury as number 3 on George Brown. Hawkins gets fouled.
Yeah, I ran into, again, as I mentioned earlier, talking to Callahan right quickly, and that was something I asked her, and I was like, man, Dana's absolutely insane what's going on with that. And, we're kind of waiting and seeing potentially in the new year. There's a chance that she'll end up playing. And, again, looking at this team, again, having Vanny and Dana's Ventimiglia in the back line would be absolutely surreal for a deep playoff run.
And first shot will drop in. Shooter's roll there, number 3, Hawkins. First foul shot of the afternoon. And, yeah, you definitely, having this team at full strength, oh, my goodness. I don't see many weaknesses really with this team. I think the one thing I'd say is they're a little foul heavy, but personally, I don't even think that's a weakness. I think if you pick your fouls properly and you're strategic with it, you can be smart with them. As Forrester, she loses the ball. It'll be a steal now for the George Brown side. Valencia running up the floor. Picked up by Forrester. And ball's passed around. Now here's number 3, Hawkins. Hawkins back to Valencia. Valencia drives in, a little bit short arm that. And with the ball is number 6, Vanny. Vanny's running in. Beautiful tic-tac-toe passing there. Tomlinson took her dribble, couldn't take another one. Now Callahan with the shot. No, can't get it to roll in.
Very interesting to watch Forrester there. Instead of taking that shot, just looking for the open man, and then the turn of events didn't go in Loyalist's favor. But interesting that, again, Loyalist is always looking kind of for the next player to take it, unless you're Callahan, and then you're just going all the way.
Oh, and that was number 15, Dawkins, in Callahan's face. That was a nice shot there. Probably the play of the game so far for the visiting side, as we will take a quick break. Back in the game now, we got Vanny on the floor. Vanny, Callahan, Lemaire, Forrester, and Alon's getting her first bit of action today. And we got a little bit of movement around the three-point line. Alonso, of course, a long-range shooter. Oh, she put that up and probably wants that one back, but it won't matter because Lemaire's there on the boards. And a good shot here by Forrester, but that won't go in. And a bit of rough stuff in front of the official. It will go the way of the George Brown Huskies, last touched by Kaylee Lemaire. And now with the ball, and Jordan Dawkins will be throwing it in, and full court press still. These Lancers just do not quit, and they force the turnover. Wow, that's just amazing defense. That is championship level defense. They have surpassed the 40-point mark in under 15 minutes of play. And there's a foul against Vanny. Fouls are 4-2, so one more foul for the Lancers, and the George Brown Huskies will be in the bonus. Now Foreman picked up by Callahan. She can't go anywhere. A stifling defense.
Yeah, screen was set there against Callahan, but didn't end up having too much of an effect.
No, she kind of just brushed it off. And now with the ball is Dawkins. Drives in. Doesn't pass, or doesn't shoot, rather. She passed instead. There probably should have been a foul there, but Loyalist definitely got away with one. And oh, doesn't matter because they get the turnover. Valencia now looking for something, just going to take the three as Callahan lets her shoot it. That was a three-point shot, but it looks like a push on the defensive player, number 25, Kapanga.
Yeah, well, it was an offensive shot, so I don't even know how you exactly
I think
call that, because it was an off-ball foul as the shot went up.
No, I think because the shot was already in motion, basket counts.
But yeah, I've seen a little bit of extra rough stuff from Kirisa Kapanga, which is interesting here because, again, some of the Loyalist players will absolutely not back down on that front. But, again, when we're talking about the bigger bodies here, then we'll see what it looks like in the paint. As, again, Loyalists have 18 to George Brown's 2 in the paint.
I don't know. I don't think you want to make Grace Callahan mad on the floor. I don't advise that for the George Brown Huskies because there's she coming out the floor. She just absolutely wears her heart on her sleeve, and she's not afraid to get in the middle of anything, that's for sure. Definitely the captain of this Loyalist side, and I believe is her final year, Callahan.
Pretty close in the steals department as well. Loyalist with 7 and George Brown 6.
With the ball now is Foreman. Foreman running. Oh, Kapanga gets the screen off on White. Foreman tries to put a little scoop shot in. It goes in. And looky here, we're under 20 points now, 41-22 for your Lancers. We'll see what can happen. Of course, anything can as Forrester shoots a three. All the way from Blind River, number 10, Gwen Forrester. And a turnover caused by Alliance. Loyalist ball.
Again, just keeping up with that first quarter. Loyalists doing everything they can on that front, and Forrester holding her right elbow here. But we saw her miss a three earlier, but hit that one. And again, Forrester has been great in terms of assisting and whatnot, but just seems to fall a little bit short on the three-point line. Hopefully she's able to find that going into the second year because it was devastating last year as we see Alliance trying to go off the backboard, but going to get picked up on a foul.
Yeah, I think Kapanga has reason to be like what happened, but her hand definitely hit Alliance there. That's the right call. She'll be coming out for number 14. That is Oman Okoji, one of the Toronto-based players from Senator O'Connor Catholic. And Alliance misses her first free throw. She doesn't do that very often, so she'll want the second one back for sure. And unfortunately, last 4 free throws have been missed by the Lancers, but luckily it hasn't come back to hurt them as it will be Loyalist ball after that one. Vanny looking to throw it in. Tries to find Forrester, but finds White instead. Brooklyn White putting it up. Not the best shot, but just had to put something up. Valencia now. They're running the floor. Here's Foreman. Foreman has the ball, trying to go around. And gets hit by Brooklyn White. 2 shots. I think that was the right call as well.
Both squads shooting 50% for the free throw line. This is going to be the 5th attempt for the Huskies.
And that'll go in.
Again, as we see Foreman here on that second attempt, and it is good. I believe it's 14 points on the afternoon for Jamie Foreman. Again, next closest with a pair of threes, or three separate players for the Huskies. So big reliance on Foreman.
Ball going around. Vanny now has the ball. Oh, she gets tripped up a little bit now. Alonce recovers it. Alonce trying to drive. Just, oh my goodness, Angel Alonce! Big body play. Wow! Standing at 5'4", playing well above her height, Angel Alonce. That was a big-time play from the rookie player out of Sudbury. Wow. 46-24 now for your Loyalist Lancers. And we're getting ready here for her free throw. She's definitely going to want this one back after not making her first two.
Yeah, with 2 points on the afternoon, and as you said, missing the two prior to. And we do see potentially an injury coming out for Jacelyn Valencia in that number 2 jersey for the Huskies. Just went out the back room. We'll see if she comes back into this one. I can keep an eye for Huskies at number 2.
And Zane Michael back in the game. Alonce comes out. Sorry, Zane Michael in for Valencia. And Alonce is out. She is out for Nina Anderson. That was so 2 Northern Ontario players. One's coming in for the other. New Liskard, I believe, an hour and a half out of Sudbury. And oh my goodness. We'll see what the call is. It's a foul against Lemaire, and it will be number 14, Okoji, drawing the foul.
Yeah, big screen on that one against Forrester as well, but then Okoji just trying to body everyone through, and that's something that you kind of feel like you need to have happen if you're on the side of the Huskies. Just giving up too many points in the paint, trying to have to play that physical game. Shooting the three is just not really getting where they need, even though you're down by a substantial amount right now. But still, anything you can get, these extra free throws, big deal.
And beautiful. Makes one, misses the other. And Callahan bringing the ball up the floor. Gives it to Brooklyn. Brooklyn White tries to make a move. Looks for the nice little midi. That'll go in. Takes a nice little double move. Shoots the midi. Little Carmelo Anthony in that maybe. You be the judge as George Brown will throw the ball in. Now number 10, Foreman. Oh, shit. I thought Forrester was going to reach a hand out, try to poke that ball out, but wasn't able to. Foreman now, driving. Nice little floater, won't go in now. On the transition is Callahan, gets the rebound, keeps it for himself, running up the floor. Sorry, keeps it for herself, running up the floor. Lemaire looking to set a screen. Looking to do a pick and pop, but nothing there. Anderson, oh, wide open. Splash all the way from Windsor. Brooklyn White with the tray. Number 4 now, and it will go out of bounds. We'll be going the other way. Now Brooklyn White, I said her name on the 3. It was not Brooklyn White who shot the 3. I do apologize for the folks at home. That was Gwen Forrester. So
that's what we've talked about throughout this one, of just finding Gwen with her shot. Because again, there we go. This is something, though. Again, it's going to seem that I'm just kind of randomly bringing it up, but last year she was so good offensively, and it's felt that she's been on the more defensive side, more utility, setting up those assists and whatnot. And I'm like, where is the Gwen of last year? And maybe this is the breakout game where we get to see Forrester really pop off.
But even I said White, it could be Lemaire, it could be Anderson. This team is so deep when it comes to shooting the perimeter shots. And it's just ridiculous. Like, they have so many weapons. It's like everybody on the floor can make and take wide open threes. Callahan to White. Beautiful basketball. And the ladies in blue are going to need a quick timeout. We're back with $1:42 left to go in the first half. It's just been absolutely flying. 56-26 for the home side. Loyalist Lancers. Dawkins bringing the ball up. Dawkins from Ajax, so about an hour from here. Running, takes a shot. Oh, a little bit off there. Looking for the rebound, and look at Forrester putting her body on the line. Wins the ball, gives it to Nina Anderson. They're in transition. These Lancers just don't quit. Ooh, I thought might have taken 3 steps there, but no call as she lost possession, so they'll keep it. And Callahan has it, going to drive in. Looking for Forrester or Anderson. She finds Forrester for the tray. Will hit the outside of the rim. Will be no good. $1:06 left to go in the half.
It's something to keep an eye on. The double-double watch. Kaylee Lemaire, 8 points and 9 rebounds.
It will be less likely that she did not get the double-double at this point. Let's say that. And Dawkins runs in, finds Kapanga. Kapanga puts it up. Oh, big finish by Kapanga. That was nice and smooth. All in one motion, able to put the ball in the basket. Passing it around. There's Callahan. Callahan drives, takes a hit. That'll be 2 shots for Grace.
Callahan currently at 15 points, which is the highest for Loyalists, also picking up 3 assists and 3 rebounds. Also perfect at the line, wanting to continue that streak, and will do just that. But again, Callahan, one of the most fun players that I've seen don the Lancer uniform over the past several years.
Yeah, she's one heck of a player, and so is Kaylee Lemaire right there. It seems like if someone misses, Lemaire's right there, just grab the board. Is not successful there, but still grabs the board that much closer to the double-double. And there is Forrester getting in the way of that one.
19 seconds on the shot clock, 24 on the game clock.
And they're going to hold it for as much as they can, trying to prevent Loyalists from getting a nice shot. Passes out. Number 8, Talo takes a hit. Will get 3 shots. Nina Anderson with the foul.
Former Lancer coming to the line. Talo having 1 3-point attempt on the night. Trying to add her first point to the board.
And there it is, her first point. She has 2 more. 15 seconds left to go in the first half. $57-30 for your Loyalist Lancers. And misses the 3rd one, but they get the rebound. There's Dawkins putting it up. Underhanded shot, not really much of a chance there. And now Lemaire's running the floor. Oh, it gets broken up by number 3, Hawkins. 5 seconds left and a bit of rough stuff there, but this looked like both players bumped into one another. It's good to see both teams competing hard, even though the score is a bit lopsided.
Yeah, again, I think for the Huskies, their chance of coming back with this one is really just trying to capitalize on the physical aspect and try to beat the Lancers at their own game with that maybe a little bit of extra aggression and trying to look for those picks and keeping that strong pressure on the defensive side as White puts up the shot.
Shooter's roll there. She'll get the free throw to drop in. Of course, scored the 33 points, national recognition. I believe she had her own post on the CCAA website, so that's the governing body above the OCAA as a rebound, offensive rebound on that miss. 1 second, it won't be a chance for a shot there. And that will be the end of the first half. 58-30 for your home Lancers. Big game for Callahan, big game for Lemaire. We'll be back in 15 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready for the second half of OCAA women's basketball action. Your undefeated 6-0 Loyalist Lancers, they're looking to go into the Christmas break being 7-0. It looks like that they're on the pace for that right now. They're taking on the 2-3 George Brown Huskies. They got quite the lead, 28-point lead after 20 minutes, and I don't think we've seen any of the Loyalist Lancers have any adversity, at least on their home floor this year so far.
Yeah, and checking out the line score in the first quarter, the Huskies were outscored 27-10, and then the second Loyalists again took that one 31-20. So again, big difference in doubling their point from the first in terms of George Brown, but Loyalists also getting a few points more themselves. So looking to be quite the interesting second half. Thank you so much for joining in.
Starting with the ball, Jacelyn Valencia. She has the ball, gives it to Foreman, who shoots long-range shot 10 seconds into the second half, and they're coming with a bang. Big three by Foreman.
Yeah, Foreman up to 17 points again. Next closest is 3 sets of 3 from Valencia, Hawkins, and Dawkins. But Foreman, wow, 17 points. Also to note, no other stats on that as well. No rebounds and no assists.
And will be a foul committed on Brooklyn White. Looks like it was against number 15. That is Jordan Dawkins. That will be her. Sorry, that is number 3 that took the foul? Yeah, it was number 3 Hawkins that took the foul, or committed the foul, I should say, as our in-house scoreboard updated. So that is number 3 Hawkins' first foul of the afternoon. And that is, of course, the George Brown Huskies' first team foul, as Lemaire will make that one.
And something to keep an eye on as well for Corinne Parker at 3 fouls. One of the things that we saw earlier in that first half was the fact that Parker was somebody that looked like she could get an extra body and compete with the Lancers. But again, picking up that many fouls early wasn't what the Huskies wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe she already has 3. A nice give and go. Oh, my goodness. Oh, just can't hit that one. And Parker tried to rebound it, but it's bounced out of her hand. And once again, goes around. Here's Brooke White. She runs around. Tries to find Lemaire, finds her. Lemaire goes up with it. Oh, big bucket there for Kaylee Lemaire.
Wow, Lemaire just finding that angle, taking that flight, and getting that shot just calm, cool, and composed as she smiles down to the front row crowd. I think it's really fun when we see these athletes really just kind of have a smile on their face and get into their zone because, again, this Loyals team is just dominating the season.
Yeah, they've been dominating their competition. The only other undefeated team is unfortunately in the West, Mohawk, as Parker shoots a 3. That's going to just go into the basket. Doesn't even move the mesh. Beautiful shot for Corinne Parker there.
Well, speaking of Mohawk, I remember a couple of years ago for the basketball sides, both men and women had a crossover playoff game in Mohawk. I remember just the Mohawk ladies were absolutely ginormous compared to the Lancers, and ultimately they fell short. And, you know, you were talking earlier about potentially any downfalls for the Lancers, and really it's all about size, but if they're able to have the skill set in every other department outside of size, then still think they're going to go quite far in the playoff run.
Fouled for, oh no, it wasn't a foul, just out of bounds. I thought that one of the Loyalist players was going to the charity stripe, but it will just be Vanny throwing the ball in. Looking for Callahan. Definitely heard a bit of contact there, but no call there. So we'll be going the other way. Callahan missed her shot there, and now running down the floor are the George Brown Huskies. 3-point shot, and it'll just hit the top of the rim and clank out. Now with the ball, Brooklyn White. Sorry, that's Forster with the ball. Pass it to Vanny. And, oh, that will go way out of bounds. Bit of sloppy basketball this first few minutes for both sides, so it'll likely calm down. I think just the nerves is getting back in the game as Valencia has the ball. She gets it back, runs the floor, gives it to Dawkins, finds Parker. Wide open, not a good defensive showing by the Lancers. They get bailed out with a miss, but offensive rebound for the Huskies. They're showing signs of life here. Here's number 10, Foreman, driving in. And that'll just go in the basket. And if you're Coach Hugh, yeah, you can see he's barking some orders. You can't be happy with those defensive breakdowns.
Yeah, Foreman now up to 19 points after the missed shot and then eventually getting it through as Callahan puts up the 3. It's going to be off the mark. Big fight, big swing from Parker trying to knock that ball out. Forrester hits the deck as well as Lemaire. We'll wait and see what the call is as we see a behind the back kind of discussion between Jordan Dawkins and the referee pleading her case.
Getting a bit more physical here. We've seen a bit of that today so far.
And it looks like the ball just went out of bounds and there was no call on the play, but everybody went down in an absolute heap.
Yeah, I think Coach Morse on the visiting side was looking for something as Lemaire's basket just goes in easy enough for her. And now Valencia, I think, it's too easy, especially for someone like Lemaire. Valencia running up the court, gives it to Parker. There's number 3, Hawkins. Not able to make that one. Callahan gets the rebound. They're going to be going up the other side of the floor now. Here's Vanny running the point, has the ball in her hand, looking for Callahan, finds her. Callahan makes a move and will just go down the floor. It'll still be Loyalist ball. It was off number 15, Dawkins.
Huskies starting off at 0-5 on the three-point attempts that they've done today. Now 6 of 16 shooting, 37%, while Loyalist is just a smidge below that at 36.8. So, again, as the game's gone on, Huskies have gotten a little bit better on that offensive side as White misses the 3.
Now going the other way in transition. Oh, my goodness, took the charge. And she got the block. Oh, that's unfortunate for White putting her body on the line, trying to get a charge. But it will be a blocking call, as the official at the end of the court says. Good job by Dawkins to draw the foul there.
And with White picking up her 3rd foul, we'll see Coach Caleb Pugh make that substitution, bringing in Nina Anderson off the bench. Again, Anderson's been one of the key players for Hugh, always bringing her on. Probably, I want to say, Arya, first or second almost every single game this season, and as we've highlighted earlier, massively improved this one and finding confidence.
Nice bit of ball movement there. Callahan tries to rip it out. She gets a hand on it, but it won't matter as Parker able to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, Huskies bench was calling foul that that entire stretch right there, but nothing ends up being called.
Now Sophie Vanny with the ball, gives it to GC. Grace Callahan gives it down low to Lemaire. Short arm that one. Gets fouled on the way down. And this coach on the, Coach Ian Morse is just talking to the official. I can't believe he didn't get a tech because he's in his ear for a bit there. Wow. But it won't matter because you can't change the referee's call. What he says is final. There is no instant replay yet in the OCAA. Maybe for the 2030s we can get that going, but not just yet. Now Vanny with the ball. Vanny has it. Sends it down to Lemaire. Lemaire pulls up. Just rises over the shorter defender. Wow.
And just checking the previous matchups for Loyalists when they went down to Centennial, winning that one 69-62. And that's something we've talked about, how they've really not had too many close contests. But I guess the game against Centennial was really the closest when they went to visit the Georgian Grizzlies. They won that one 100-58 as the 3-point is missed. And then when we go down to this month, against Algonquin, 71-51. Seneca, 62-54. St. Lawrence, 82-46. At Durham, 74-39. Just keep the good things running on top of that point. This Loyalist team, again, this season is crazy.
You can't stop Kaylee Lemaire. Wow, she is just everywhere. And a big steal by Vanny, going to make it 2 more. 69-40 now. And there's a timeout for the visiting side. They need that. And we're back in this one, 69-40 for the home Lancers, and Foreman's back in the game. She's running up the floor, getting doubled, looking for a pass, and sent to Talo. And not going anywhere. Sends around. Number 3 with the shot. Hawkins. It's good. Number 3, Michaela Hawkins.
Yeah, just wanted to go down and check out some of the previous games again against the Lords, who's really struggled this season. But we saw White and Lemaire drop 15 points on top of Nina Anderson off the bench. So we're giving Anderson a ton of praise, and rightfully so, dropping 15 against the Lords.
And will be whistled dead. I believe it's a foul against the George Brown Huskies. We're waiting for the score clock to change. And Nina Anderson will be throwing it in. Number 10 with the foul. That was Foreman. And we're seeing some new faces in the game. Sophie Vanny coming out. And so is Kaylee Lemaire coming in. Number 9, Evelyn Shackle. And number 10, Forrester back in the game. Shackle, first bit of action today. Makes a nice move. Can't put it in. Tried something, though. That was a nice move to start out. Evelyn Shackle, and now on transition is Foreman. GC, Callahan taps it out. Well, it won't matter. They get the ball right back. Hawkins look for a shot. Doesn't take it. Foreman gets it again. Passed into the corner to Dawkins. Dawkins with the 3. It'll be nothing but glass. That'll be a miss for Dawkins. Ball will go down to Gwen Forrester. Gwen Forrester tries to find Anderson, but she is not home. And number 3, Michaela Hawkins, runs it in and drops it in.
Yeah, checking out George Brown's last game against the Algonquin Wolves. They had Michaela Hawkins with 10, Jamie Foreman with 22, and Corin Parker with 26, and no points off the bench. So again, this George Brown squad is very, very heavily reliant on their starting 5.
Starting with the ball now is Valencia. She's coming up the floor. Makes it past half, has Shackle on her. Foreman. Dawkins. Dawkins drives. She's met by Shackle, loses the ball straight away. Looks like she might have tweaked something there. Shackle gives it to Nina Anderson. Anderson's guarded by Foreman. Just, wow, there's a little bit of physicality there, but no call. And GC will knock the ball out, and she's happy about that. And it looks like a substitution. Number 4 coming in the games. That is Zune Michael. Out of the game is number 15, Dawkins.
Yeah, both teams really struggling in the turnover department. George Brown with 14, Loyalist with 10. And then when we're going down to the rebounds, that's really where the difference is. George Brown has 15 to Loyalist 34.
Yeah, Loyalist just played an absolute complete basketball game like we always see. And Callahan getting in that one. We'll be getting a call. And George Brown with the ball. Throws it in now. Michael drives. Looks for something, can't find it. Looks like there was a player wide open in the perimeter. That was Talo. And it will be a basket regardless, but they could have got 3, I think. Now going the other way now. Here's Forrester, gets tripped up. Losing the ball is the Loyalist Lancers. Now here comes number 3, Hawkins. This time she finds Foreman in the corner. Oh, try to get a 5-point stretch, but not there.
It's something to keep an eye on with Forrester. She's been holding her right elbow a fair bit throughout this one, and when she went down trying to break through those 3 defenders, again, got up awkwardly as Brooklyn White puts up the 3. No good. Anderson's there, tries to go for the shot. Not going to be any good either as Foreman collects the rebound. But again, watch out Gwen Forrester on that right elbow.
With the ball now are the George Brown Huskies. Number 4, Michael. Zune Michael driving. Took a hit. Now has Foreman. Foreman drives in. Oh, my goodness. Nice little lay there by Foreman, able to drop it in the basket now with 49 points are the George Brown Huskies. Callahan able to find Forrester, who finds Nina. Callahan has the ball again. Callahan fires it, and it'll hit the front of the rim. With the rebound is Anderson.
That was one of the craziest plays. The pass was intended for Anderson, who ended up getting there, but White was just kind of steamrolling from midcourt and almost collected that one, but just realized last second that it was intended for Anderson, and everything worked out. But quite a funny little play there if you rewind it.
Taylor with the ball. Gives it out to Foreman, who takes a long-range 3. It drops in the basket. Wow, Foreman. That was from further than the 3-point range, and nope, there is no call there. Looked like the buzzer went off by accident as Callahan has the ball, takes a hit, and will go to the line.
Yeah, Jamie Foreman now up to 24 points. Again, next closest is Hawkins and Parker with 6, but me oh my. George Brown, Jamie Foreman having a game. And also, one thing just to note as well is we have not seen the game that we expected for Corinne Parker, again, averaging upwards of 20 points a game, but currently only having 6 this far. Also picking up a couple of fouls, and we saw them having to get taken out of the game earlier to prevent fouling out. But again, very interesting just to see how dominant George Brown is through a single player.
Tomlinson in the game for Forster. That is substitution. And Callahan makes her first free throw of these 2 shots here. And makes the second one. Callahan. Vanny will be taking Callahan out. Waiting for the inbound there. And getting ready to check into the game, Kanique Pope Jackson will be her first bit of action for these George Brown Huskies. Now with the ball is Michael. Zane Michael running in coast to coast, and she gets the shooter's roll. She'll take that. Nice little play there by Zane Michael, able to do it herself. Now running in is Lemaire, takes the shot. Oh my goodness! Defender draped all over him, or all over her rather, and she drops it in the basket. That's beautiful by Lemaire. She's been everywhere today. And just harassing the offensive player were the Loyalist Lancers, and it won't matter because number 6, Mariah Cross, able to rise up and score her first points of the night.
Last minute here in the third quarter, and again, Huskies looking like they might have an actual good chance at a comeback here in the fourth if they're able to get a stop.
Oh, yeah, you don't want, they've been hanging around this third quarter. I think they've definitely played the better quarter, honestly. And I think Coach Hugh will have a few things to say to his ladies in this quarter time. We have 34 seconds left until the quarter expires, and ball gets passed around. Valencia, a little bit too much space, and she's going to take it.
It's former Lancers doing a little bit of dagger work right there, but you were mentioning about them coming out a lot stronger in this third quarter as we got 20 seconds on the game clock. What a screen by Lemaire. Holy smokes. Tomlinson goes for the jump shot, and it's good with 15 on the clock, but George Brown has outscored Loyalists pretty significantly here in this third quarter.
See, that screen by Lemaire is kind of, as the clock is getting ready to expire, that screen by Lemaire is showing there. We're not going away. We're not going away, Huskies. We're a tough team, and they can't even get a shot up here.
I don't even think the bench realized how much time was left. That was the only time I've ever not heard a bench call the timer. But with that said, Loyalists looking good and looking to stay undefeated as they're ahead 79-59 heading into the fourth quarter.
And we're back here, fourth quarter, 10 minutes, and now we have a bit of time here. We're going to have Schiller go through what's happening in the OCAA WBB world. Schiller, take it away.
Yeah, just going down again, checking out the first quarter. Loyal scoring 27 to George Brown's 10 in the second. Loyal scoring 31 to George Brown's 20. And then in this last quarter, George Brown flipping this script ultimately, 29 to 21. So again, crazy performance from George Brown, turning it around, finding their shots to connect as they missed the first one there. But again, it looks like potentially a completely different change of pace for what's going on just in general for the rest of this game.
Alrighty. Now with the ball is Foreman, taking it past half. Guarded by Tomlinson. Foreman gets set. Tries to find something, but she does. She's able to make the pass to, that's a new player on the floor, number 6, Mariah Cross. No, she's not a new player. She was in a bit on the third quarter, but first-year player regardless. As Tomlinson, foot on the line, will be a 2 if that goes in, but it won't matter.
Yeah, just checking out, sorry, the webpage wasn't loading a second ago, but Fanshawe against Redeemer, up 85-45. That's going to be the final. Centennial taking again at St. Lawrence, 67-48. We got the Loyalist Lancers and George Brown game going on right now. And then the first quarter is Sheridan, Lambton, Humber, and St. Clair, but all those games a little bit too close to be able to call any sort of big score line right now as they just started both of those games.
And Forrester out. Sorry, that is not Forrester. That is Anderson out. Callahan in. And, of course, in about 45-50 minutes, we'll have the men's version of this one. We got the 2-3 George Brown Huskies taking on your 2-4 men's, 3-5 men's Lancers. Unfortunately, I will not be able to be on the call with Schill, but we're leaving it in very capable hands. He'll be able to take that one by himself as Tomlinson steals the ball. She's going the other way. Anaya Tomlinson, she takes a shot.
Yeah, and Tomlinson, 1 of 2 on the field goal attempts, has gotten one chance at the free throw line, 0 for 2 for that, so looking to change that woes. But we talked a little bit earlier about Kaylee Lemaire getting that double-double, 19 points, 13 rebounds as well. And the next closest for that, Grace Callahan, currently at 20 points. Needing a few more rebounds, though, currently at 7.
Not what Tomlinson wants. 0 for 3 now at the line. She's going to want to make this one. I personally really like Tomlinson's game. I think she's a great piece for this this Lancers bench, especially, in that 6th man role as a defensive specialist. I think she's just a fantastic ball player.
Yeah, I totally agree. Been with the Lancers for a couple years, and I think both the addition of Anderson last year and Tomlinson continuing with this team, as we've seen a lot of players end up transferring between different schools, going to different programs. You never know how long you're going to get a player for, and it's been exciting to watch Tomlinson over the years.
And Parker's now back in the game for the George Brown Huskies. Wanted to get that out before I forget as the miss goes in the hands of Callahan. Anaya has a wide open shot. Just take it. Unfortunately, not her day from the offensive standpoint, but that's okay. Luckily, it has not affected them too much. They're still up by 19, but I don't really think you love the fact that the Lancers have given up 61 points. I know that's very nitpicky, but they're not the type of team to give up that many points in 30 minutes.
Well, I mean, I think earlier we saw such a good score line that it's a question of were the Lancers holding back at all? Again, we talked so much in that first and second quarter about the defensive pressure and constantly bringing up the turnovers, the steals and whatnot. And to be fair, again, George Brown had a fair amount of them too, but yeah, it doesn't feel like that's as strong here in the second half for Loyalist.
Now with the ball, Vanny looked to call a play, but didn't get anything off, I don't think. And Callahan just swings it to the top to Brooke White. White looks for a pass. She finds Lemaire, who finds Forrester. Oh, can't make it. Definitely have cooled down from the three-point line as it will be a jump. We'll see. Should be Loyalist ball still. Oh, no, it will be George Brown ball.
It's always one of those things where you see Lemaire really fighting to keep that down and then just smashing her elbow off the court. Just, to me, that feels like it's got to be painful. But we'll see a timeout from the Loyalist Lancers as they're up 80-61 here in the fourth.
All right, we're getting back, and Shill and I were just discussing the action on the floor, and something we've noticed is it's very one-sided for the George Brown Huskies when it comes to their scoring. Almost all the offense has come out of fifth-year player Jamie Foreman as Lemaire's shot drops in once again.
And we might have an injury on the floor. Really, really slow to get up is Corin Parker. Corin Parker getting taken out of the game, able to get up off her own volition, but immediately over to the athletic therapist's table. Looks like a lower body injury of some sort. Wishing the best for Parker, and hopefully she'll be able to come back in this one.
Absolutely. Nice bit of passing from the visiting side, and that is Kapanga able to put the ball in the net, the second-year player from Agincourt Collegiate in Scarbs. As Brooklyn White now has the ball, tries to make a couple double moves. Gives it over to Vanny with the handoff. Vanny looking for Lemaire, who's been probably your player of the game offensively, but just can't make that one. And there was a foul against, it was a foul against, looked like against Kaylee Lemaire. Yeah, that will be her third. Doesn't matter too much, only 7 minutes left in the game. Both teams are at one foul. It would be pretty unlikely to see a foul out here, but I guess stranger things have happened now as Valencia has the ball. She's coming up. She's from Central Tech in North York. Like I said, a very local side for this George Brown Huskies side, as she was wide open but can't make it. That was Michael on the shot. And Kapanga stepped out. No basket. It will be. It was not that Kapanga stepped out. It was a push against number 10. That is Forster. And now with the ball is, with throwing in the ball is Michael.
So one thing I do want to bring up as well is I'm just scrolling through all the different stat sheets right now. On the bench point front, the Huskies, I believe, had 0 going into the second half. They've picked up 21 points as a bench since then, as a laser beam 3-point shot goes through for Jamie Foreman, and we're talking about individual efforts. Foreman and the bench, that's the new story of the game for the Huskies.
And Callahan took a shot there, popped right back up. Will be a push against number 6, that is Mariah Cross, first-year player out of Brampton. And now throwing the ball in is Brooklyn White. Gets thrown in. Here's Vanny with the ball. 6:36 left to go in the ball game. Vanny takes a pick from Lemaire, and in the corner now, here's number 10. That is Forrester, and that will go out on the Loyalist player.
Yeah, Forrester really just looking for a quick pass to Vanny and not able to connect. Going to see a substitution again on the side of the Huskies. Is again just over 6 minutes left to go in this fourth quarter. Loyalists looking to remain undefeated.
And you can't say anything too bad about the George Brown Huskies in the second half. They have had they've looked like two different ball clubs. Like Shill said earlier, I think it's probably the fact that Loyalist is able to score with so many more players as Vanny gets a steal, and that's why they have a pretty big lead still. However, they've really picked it up, the visiting George Brown Huskies, but you can't have that happen. Lemaire's wide open, easy 2 points, easiest basket of her life. Now with the ball, Valencia coming up, 84-66 for the home side. Under 6 minutes to go in the game. Valencia looked for the shot, couldn't find it, finds Kapanga down low. Tries to make something happen, puts it up, and Kapanga looked for a foul, not happy with that one. Stared down the referee, I think, a little bit. Fair enough. 50-50 goal for sure. Kapanga looks to get back on defense, and now White has the ball. It won't go in the net. She tried the long-range shot. Number 3 able to take it, Hawkins. Thought it was tipped out by Callahan, but somehow stays in. Hawkins just throws it up there. Not sure what she was looking for.
It kind of looked like she was wanting to alley-oop, but I don't know if anybody could have dunked on that.
Yeah, that was puzzling to say the least as Callahan runs in, takes the contact, and will shoot 2.
Yeah, and Lemaire already breaking her average rebound, which again is 5th in the OCAA at 11.5, but in this game, now at 14.
And now with the first shot, Callahan. 4th foul for number 25, Kapanga.
Yeah, Callahan 5 of 6 at the line today. I think that's 6 of 7.
And looks like number 11, Stark is looking to come to the game, and she'll be taking out Callahan. 5:13 left to go. And if you're George Brown, if you're on the coaching side of George Brown, you have a lot of positives to look for, especially in the second half. The effort was way better, and just they've definitely played as a team, more able to share the rock and use all the shot clock to find a good shot. And they're able to set her up. There it is at 31 points now, Jamie Foreman. She has been cooking all day and keeping her side somewhat in the game. And now passing it around now. Stark with the ball. She passes it to Vanny. Vanny has the ball at the top of the key. Looked for White. Found her. White went up with it, and she is fouled by number 3. That is Hawkins.
And again, realistically, this game could look totally different. The second half, I know we keep bringing it up, but complete turnaround for the Huskies. And the fact that Corinne Parker had to get pulled out earlier from picking up those 3 fouls when she's in the top 5 and 5th spot at 16.6 points per game, that is a huge offensive weapon. And Corinne, I believe, has just about 6 points on the evening, so not typically like her, but then also that injury that was recently picked up. But again, very different game if things just went slightly different for George Brown in that first half.
And with the ball now, White foul. I'm not sure what the foul is there. Yeah, you could see Coach Caleb Hughes' reaction is just hilarious. Oh my goodness, he's like, what? But yeah, I'm not sure what the official was seeing there, but regardless, when you're up by these many points, you're not the most heartbroken, so you'll take that on the chin at the end of the day, and you'll move on. And there's Callahan getting in there, causing some trouble. That is Zune Michael. She has the ball now. She gives it to number 8, Talo, the former Lancer, and that is not going the way of Foreman. Not even a chance for her to get that ball.
Yeah, Taylor just firing that into the bench, and to be honest, it just gives me a deja vu of one of the men's game we looked at before where there was a player that was standing up on the bench and got past you. Man, they had a turnover for it, so that time, not a player on the bench causing that turnover, but just in ill-advised passes. We see Forrester now trying to find an opening back to Callahan. Callahan driving to the basket, wanting to go all the way, and she does!
That was a big body effort by Callahan. Wow. That's some old school, maybe a little Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm not sure, but Patrick Ewing, take your pick. Old school big man play there by Callahan. That was just absolutely gorgeous. And a long-range shot for Hawkins. Oh, it won't even be close. It'll go the other way in transition. Now with the ball, Kaylee Lemaire. She gives it to her point guard, Vanny. Sophie Vanny's had one heck of a game handling the ball and putting her girls in good positions to score. And Callahan, GC wide open. All the way from Port Perry, Grace Callahan for 3, and they're getting close to 100 points here. And you want to get those 7 points if you're on the Loyalist side. There's Callahan. Oh my goodness, she caused the steal, offense and defense, and she is fired up.
We've talked a lot tonight about how Loyalist has really just spread out the scoring, and this is just a prime example of that. Grace Callahan, 27 points. Kaylee Lemaire, 23. Brooklyn White, 16. Gwen Forster with 8. The ball is getting spread around everywhere, and everyone is contributing for this Loyalist team.
Callahan's best is a two-way player, I think. She's shooting threes and going and causing steals. She's definitely not just an offensive weapon as she runs in. She plays with so much physicality and so much heart, not able to make that one. But like I said, she missed a layup. She's probably going to be beating herself up for the rest of the game over missing a single layup. That's the type of player she is, and she's just a pleasure to watch and call her games for sure. Absolutely. And now coming into the game, Nina Anderson. And it will be a timeout for the visitors with 3 minutes even. All right, back on the call, J.O. and Schiller. We're back for the last 3 minutes of this one, and the last game we're going to do until, I believe, January 3rd or 4th. We have an exhibition in one of those games, and that will be a 3-point shot. I believe the Redeemer Royals are coming to town January 3rd for an exhibition, and I believe on the 4th it's a volleyball exhibition, and then back to regular season play the weekend of January 9th. So we are going to absolutely have a sad month not calling basketball. And Callahan, oh, she does not like that one, but you're going to want to get that one back for sure as Foreman brings the ball up the hardwood. Covered by Vanny. Foreman's had one heck of an afternoon, man. 31 points, and she's been everywhere on the floor.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I know that we keep kind of harping on the fact that we bring up Foreman on everything, but really that's kind of just what you're stuck doing when you have such a dominant performance from a singular player. As we see the foul get picked up, and both teams one away from being in foul trouble. And if that going against Lemaire, she is going to be okay. Excuse me, sorry. It popped up 14, and Lemaire's not even on the floor right now, but it's going to go against number 3 in Angel Alonce, who just recently checked in.
Yeah, I could have sworn that the George Brown player just stepped out. I thought Alonce was just playing hard defense, but it won't matter. They're going to get the 2 shots at the charity stripe anyways. It will only be 1 point as Callahan runs up the floor. She fires it. And ball gets passed around a little bit here.
Alonce able to save that, which is just insane to think about, as Grace Callahan puts up the 3 and just off the mark. Ton of grabs for it. Alonce reaches over, and some elbows go flying here from the side of the Huskies. Michael coming out of that, not wanting to let anybody near the ball.
No. And now with the ball is Valencia. Or sorry, that's Talo. Tried to hit a 3, couldn't make it. 1:44 left to go in the ball game. Callahan finds Alonce. Alonce puts it up, and she takes a shot.
Yeah, some extra, I don't even know if you call it aggression, but Kanique Pope-Jackson is kind of running her hips into her and balling over Alonce there, but she'll take the free throws. Both teams now in foul trouble as well.
93-22 for your Loyalist Lancers. They will go into the Christmas break undefeated, perfect 7-0. And there's no question that they've been the class of the OCAA East all season so far. And I think they're hard-pressed to not think of championship aspirations. Like, you can't not see this team play basketball and not be like, they're one of the best teams in the country. They came in ranked 18th in the country, the last CCAA rankings, and there's no way they don't move up.
Yeah, and again, Coach Caleb Hugh for the Lancers picking up Coach of the Year honors last year as Callahan gets blocked by Kapanga.
And like I said, they came in 18th on the last CCAA rankings. Those are on their Instagram. The CCAA, of course, is the governing body of the OCAA. They oversee all college athletics, much like U Sports, if anyone's familiar with that, and university athletics. And a nice little spin move, gives it to Brooklyn White, and she shoots it, but, sorry, it gives it to Gwen Forrester. And 2 rebounds for Nina. And Alonce, but Callahan just bounces right back to her. You're taking that if you're Callahan. And oh my goodness, beautiful. And Vanny goes up with it. She gets fouled on the way down by Jordan Dawkins, and that'll be it.
You know what I absolutely love about that play, though, is so many shots from the Lancers. They end up being misses. Callahan gets possession of it and just stops for a second, holds it, lets the momentum and everything kind of just pause in the moment without trying to huck up another point just for the sake of doing it. And then we see now Sophie Vanny at the line off of Callahan's composure. And the foul committed on the other side, but less than a minute remaining as Vanny connects on the first free throw.
95-72. I was really hoping for 100 points. It might not be possible now with the Loyalist Lancers, but you're happy with 95 regardless. And big block for the George Brown player. It'll be going the other way, and Shackle will be coming in the game for the last 40 seconds. As Vanny gets a standing ovation from her teammates for one heck of an effort.
Yeah, Callahan picking up 27 points in this contest, 12 rebounds. Kayla Lemaire, 23 points, 15 rebounds. And then we have Brooklyn White with 16 points and 5 rebounds. Again, all around very, very quality games from some of the top Lancer players. As George Brown wanted to end the game on a high note, picking up that basket. Now Loyalist 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
That was Kanique Pope Jackson on the layup there. Oh, nice little move by White. Gets some separation. Finds Alals. And goes out. Will be bounced out by Kapanga. So it will be another throw in, 11.6 left to go. And will likely dribble out the clock here. Oh, maybe not. No, because George Brown wanted to play to the whistle. And, yeah, he'll take it. And that'll be the game. 97-74 for your hometown Loyalist Lancers. Ending 2025 on a perfect 7-0. And we are absolutely excited to have you back in the Lancer Dome on January 9th, as they'll be back in action January 9th, 2026. So unless Steve has any more words, I think we're good to go. So for Steve and Shill, my name is John Ostrowski. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff. Take care. We'll see you in about 45 minutes to watch the men's game.